1:30. Okay.
There's just a few of us here, but there's more who will watch online.
Oh, already telecasted?
Yes.
Oh, I was not aware of that. Okay, so let's start. Mukam karoti vachalam pankhum langhayate giri yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Guru dinatarinam Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurinmilitam Jaina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Jai Guru. So our Saraswati Didi asked us for a topic, so to speak for this weekend program. So we have thought that we can discuss about WWW, worship without walls. So in the age of Kali, there are in previous ages like Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga and Satya Yuga, different procedures are there for worshipping Lord. So you have to have certain principles. In the Dwapar Yuga specifically, temple worship is recommended, strict temple worship. So the worship of the Lord is restricted to the four walls. But in the age of Kali, the process of worshipping Lord is through Harinam Sankirtan. For chanting the holy name of Lord, one do not need that he has to stay in the temple. He can stay anywhere. He can, doing his work, or he can be, going to visit, different, places, whatever may be the position. He can chant the name of the Lord any place without any restriction. You don't have to stay in a particular location or particular condition to chant the holy name of the Lord.
I can't call it.
You don't have to stay in a particular location or particular specific place to chant the holy name of the Lord.
No, Maharaj, thank you. Right, I'm with you now. Yes.
So
that is true.
Yes.
That is true.
That's why the worship of the Lord in the age of Kali is not restricted to certain boundary of walls. So the principle is that holy name is descending to this world through a principle of Guru Parampara system. It is not just the name one can take and just chant it. It means in the Western world, Mahesh Jogi was very famous, one person from India. People consider him as a spiritual leader, but he imitated the process of chanting of the Vaishnavas. What he used to do, he used to come to West and he used to charge some dollars. I will give you a transcendental sound and this much dollar is the price. And what he used to give the name? He used to give the name like, table. You can chant table, table, table. Or he will give the name banana. You can chant banana, banana, banana. So he imitated this process from the Vaishnavas. But Vaishnavas are not chanting any ordinary sound. They are chanting the divine sound, which is Lord Himself, Lord incarnated through His holy name. And when it comes from the pure devotee, then pure devotee is giving us a service connection. Means during the time of initiation, Guru gives an order. What order Guru is giving? That I am giving this certain these words Hare Krishna Rama. In this way, you should chant it. And these are the do's and these are the don'ts. So like a newborn baby, when one follows that, order of Guru, that service, Harinam Seva, we call. So Harinam Seva is received from a bona fide, master. And when we, carry out that, service that Guru has ordered us, then some higher and higher service will manifest through that, process of remembering Gurudev. He told me why I am chanting. Mahaprabhu was telling to this Mayavadis when in Varanasi he had a conversation. Then Mahaprabhu was telling that Murkha Janiya More Guru Korila Sadha. Means he is saying, consider me as a fool number one. My Guru chastised me that you don't have any right to study Vedanta. No, you just simply chant this mantra. And then when I followed that order of my Guru, then what I am experiencing is that this holy name taken full control of me. Now this holy name is making me chant, making me dance, and do so many activities, which I am not under control of. That means chanting myself and holy name is controlling us chanting is two different levels. So the development of the taste to the holy name is very, very, significant. And how the taste can come, the taste to chant the holy name will come when we are free from the offences, aparadha. So that's why when during giving initiation, Gurudev tells that these are the offences, you must avoid these offences. Then you will get some good results. Otherwise, very difficult to get the results. Maybe we are chanting so many times, but we are not getting good results. So what is the problem is that we are not following the recommendation. The recommendation is given that aparadha means there is a word of Radharani is there. Radharani is displeased. When Radharani is displeased, then we cannot get any real substantial service connection. When we are trying to do service, but that service is not pleasing to the spiritual plane. So, holy name can be tested by somebody only when we are free from offences. And this freeing from the offence is very, very difficult for living entities. Srila Sridhar Maharaj says that following rules and regulations are like picking the mushroom from the soil. It's so easy. Even great demons, they followed so many rules and regulations which it is very difficult to follow. Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyakashipu, they followed so many, difficult processes. But to cultivate the real, purpose of this, holy name, that is the love of Godhead, one needs to develop proper attitude. And that attitude comes when we associate with some, devotees. And that association is not just staying with devotees. That means that like a devotee receives the holy name, then he is always thinking that my Gurudev given this seva. I am doing this seva because my Gurudev given. Nowadays, many people, do chanting for many purposes. I see in some devotee community, not so much in our, mud, but, some other, outside, we see sometimes somebody is having some illness, and they say that if you chant more rounds, then that illness will go. They do such things. If you chant some extra rounds, then your disease will go. But it is namaprad. It's an offense, actually, to use the holy name for something lower. We cannot use the holy name Krishna for our own, lower interest. So, main, obstacle to each to have some bad feelings or some kind of offensive mentality towards a devotee of the Lord. This is very bad, and we all have it actually, and that's why we are suffering in this material world. We all have it, and we have to pray that, oh Lord, when offenses will go from my heart, and when I will develop proper attitude to serve you offenselessly, and try to please your devotees. Devotees are so much rare in this world. Like Krishna says, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyante Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. To even to know Vasudeva conception is so rare. Krishna's statement in Bhagavad Gita, and to come to the conception of worshipping with love, with his energy, Lord and his energy. You see, there are three types of transcendentalists we generally observe. Lower than that we see karmis. Karmis have no spiritual interest, but we know that there are jnanis, those who practice try to understand Lord from their own abilities. They try to know what is Lord's nature, what can be his attributes, all those things by their own abilities, by mental speculation. The path is mental speculation. And that we see at the end, they can realize that Supreme is unknowable. They can only realize it is something vast and it is Brahman. They can go up to that much by their own abilities. They cannot have any personal conception of the Lord. But there are, some other transcendentalists like yogis, they have some realization of personality. They meditate on the form of Lord in their heart. That is Paramatma. They meditate in their heart. But these two, what you can say, categories, those who are practicing, this spiritual path, they have not yet developed service conception. The Jnanis, they want to know Lord, and yogis, they want to see Lord. This is the things. So yogis just see the Lord and they are very happy just by seeing Lord. And Jnanis wants to know, keep on knowing things. But devotees, they come to Bhagavan. Bhagavan means must be with energy, like Lakshmi Narayan, Sita Ram, Radha Krishna. So they worship the Absolute with his pleasure potency. So this is the significant difference. Why devotee worships Lord with the energy? Because to serve Lord, you need a servitor. And Sripad Puri Maharaj, my Shiksha Gurudev, he always says that Bhakti comes from Bhakti. We cannot create Bhakti by some kind of, practices. If there is Bhakti and we have some connection with that, individual, that person, then that heart to heart, it, transfers. When we do with Adho Saddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, this process is being recommended by Rupa Goswami. This is the process. To have, some connection with the personality who has devotion. So, holy name we cannot approach by ourselves. Asadhu sange bhai, Krishna naam nahi hoy, naam akhyar bahire bate naam kabu nahi. It is told, it is recommended in our, line that by bad association we cannot chant holy name. We are just trying to chant some, words, but it's not name proper. Naam akshar bahire bate naam kabu nahi. Naam means is Krishna himself. So, to come to that conception, what our scripture is recommending, sadhu sange Krishna naam, ehi matra chai, sansar jinite ar kono vastu na. In the association of sadhus, you must chant the holy name, and then you can get the victory over sansar. You know what is the meaning of sansar? What is the Shastra says about sansar? What is the meaning of that?
Different meaning, different connotations.
But a general, what is the meaning it is indicating to sansar? Sansar.
Entanglement.
Actually, it is a endless cycle of birth and death. Endless cycle of birth and death. Keep on moving and moving and moving, never ending. It's going on and on and on and on. To break that parikrama, we are doing parikrama, following sadhus. We are doing parikrama of Tulsi, we are doing parikrama of Lord, we are doing parikrama of Dham, and by that, material parikrama is finished. Srila Acharya Dev, whenever he goes to different preaching places, he always says that to grostas, many times he tells, you should have Tulsi in your door, where your exit door, right, where you go out. You should have Tulsi there, and you should do parikrama and go, and while coming, you do parikrama and come. So the Tulsi, if you can remember in our heart, we always, have loving, relation with Tulsi. Tulsi Krishna Priyasi. By Tulsi's grace, we will get Krishna Bhakti. We are wearing Tulsi Mala because it gives remembrance of Krishna. Why Tulsi is so significant? This is very, very important. Because Krishna is teaching that you cannot do any service to us directly. You cannot do any service to me directly. You can do service to Lord through devotee. You can cook, but if you offer without Tulsi, Lord will not accept it. So, we must worship Lord with his devotees. This is very, very significant. In Pushti Marg, in India, there is a devotee, culture is there. They worship Laddu Gopal, Pushti Marg. only Krishna. But in our Mahaprabhu's line, we don't worship Krishna alone. In fact, actually, Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he given a definition of our Sampradaya's conception. Those who are worshipping Shakti, Durga Devi, they are known as Shakta. Those who are worshipping Ganesh, they are known as Ganapatya. And those who are worshipping Krishna or Vishnu, they are Vaishnava. And those who are worshipping Krishna, they are Krishna. But those who are worshipping Srimati Radharani, they are Gaudiya. So Gaudiya means they are approaching Krishna through Srimati Radharani. So, there is a song, beautiful song, Bhakti Thakur also mentioned. Radha bhajane jadi moti nai bhela, Krishna bhajana tabe akarane gela. So, without, approaching Krishna through, the bhajan of Radharani, then our whole Krishna bhajan is waste. Bhakti Thakur, like he's saying, Ataparahita suraj nahi jani, Radha virahita madhav nahi mani. Without sunlight, I cannot accept there is sun. Similarly, I cannot accept Krishna without Radharani. So this is very, very important conception. And Saraswati Thakur added a further beautiful conception. He is saying Gurudev, Mahaprabhu, Gurudev is Nityananda, and then Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna. So this beautiful conception, our deities, also represents very significant conception. All our Gaudiya temples, what we see, Guru, Gaura, Gandharva, Govinda Sundar. Means Gurudev, then Mahaprabhu, Gurudev is Nityananda, then Mahaprabhu, then Radha Krishna. This is so beautiful concept. We cannot approach Krishna directly. In South India, if we go, they have only Krishna. They are doing worship of Krishna, only Krishna. But a genuine devotee, a genuine Vaishnava, he never approaches Lord alone like that. He approaches through his devotees, because he knows, devotee knows how to satisfy Lord. So that is a very significant conception. And holy name also we don't approach without devotee. Before chanting holy name, what is the mantra that we chant? Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadhi Sri Gaura Bhakta Bindu. So we are taking the mercy of all the devotees of Mahaprabhu to chant the holy name. So approaching Lord properly is to respect his world, his devotees, and that is the process of entering into his plane. Srila Govinda Maharaj written a book, I think Divine Guidance. In that there is a chapter on the way to Jagannath Puri Dham, and in that he mentions about sometimes people develop some like a bad feeling about Jagannath's servitors, priests, and they try to behave little badly. Devotees, sometimes it happens. But Govinda Maharaj is warning that they are all very close to Lord Jagannath. So you must remember that if you love me, love my dog. So if you are really loving Supreme Lord Hari, then you must love his devotee. And this is very important. In Krishna also, Bhagavad Gita says, if my devotee is Durachari also, if he is a Durachari also, you must see good qualities in him. Never try to see anything bad in him. And by seeing good qualities in him, you will be Mahatma. Means you will attain all the good qualities. So the secret of one's success in spiritual practice is trying to please Lord through his devotees. We have to please his devotees. We have to worship his devotees. And by that process, Lord is also pleased. And if you see, even our temple in Navadvip Dham, deities are like ground floor, right? Deities are there. But Siddhar Maharaj's place is little higher, right? And this is very, very important teaching also. The temple itself teaching something, you see. Some other persons may not understand why it is so like that. But you see, deity, Rupa Goswami says that Kanistha only seeing Lord through deities. But Madhyama, he can see Lord through deity and also through devotees. He can see like that. And Uttama, wherever his eyes is falling, he is seeing everywhere, Lord. So the bhakta is, very, very important. Through devotee, we can know and relate to Lord more properly. Deity in our conditioned state will not twist our ear and cannot explain, you are not doing properly. But devotee will do that out of affection. Devotee can tell, this is the proper way of doing things. You should not do like that. So this type of, loving, connection and affection of the Lord can come to this world through devotees. And the devotees has to be honored, respected and worshipped. And spiritual world, we can approach the spiritual plane where everything is devoted to Lord. Everything. In Vrindavan we go, even dust is our worship. We have to put that dust on our head. Everything. So we cannot approach the spiritual world without giving proper respect, proper honor to his devotees. It is not possible. A spiritual life is impossible without ignoring devotees. We cannot enter into any kind of spiritual conception. In Mirabai, for example, she was trying to approach Lord directly. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj in one lecture explains this. Some devotee asked about Mirabai's devotion. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, she is actually not devotee. Her all songs are only glorifying Krishna, 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 like that. But we cannot find any mention of devotee in those songs of Mirabai. Many people sing, they like Mirabai's song. But our line of conception does not accept that type of devotion. It means directly approaching Lord. And in that direct approach of Lord, you can only try to use Lord for your enjoyment. You will not see Lord's satisfaction as the most important thing. Only when you have a connection with devotee, then you will put the Lord in the center. And even Lord himself came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Krishna transformed himself into a devotee, seeing the mood of the devotion from the Radharani. Means devotee can change even Lord. What to say of others? Even by associating with devotee, Lord changed. Lord not liked his position as a enjoyer. He seen that what my devotee is getting by serving me, that is something very, very higher. And I want to taste it. What taste is there by this type of dedication? That is what is the mood of Srimati Radharani. The mood is that if somebody is pleasing Krishna very nicely, and I want to serve that devotee. This is the mood of Radharani. If somebody is pleasing Krishna, I want to be the servant of that devotee. This is the mood of Radharani. And the opposing camp of that is the little different mood. What is the mood? If somebody is doing good service, I want to do better than him. That type of mood is there. If somebody is doing good service, I want to do better than him. That is, the opposing camps mood. But Mahaprabhu not accepted that mood. What Mahaprabhu teach? Servant of servant. This is very, very significant, Why Mahaprabhu is teaching this mood of servant? Because there, our position is not so important. Our satisfaction is not so important. That I can do better service. No. Who is doing better service? Let me try to assist him. Let me try to serve him as servant of servant. That means Lord is in the center. And Mahaprabhu, Krishna accepted this type of mood. He assumed this type of mood. And he came with this type of mood. And he is teaching this type of mood. So this type of mood, if one can practice, then the result of holy name will manifest in the heart. Otherwise, there are so many kinds of difficulties. In this, I was telling about this, what you can say, sometimes devotees always cannot come to temples, cannot do all the programs regularly. Wherever maybe they are doing their works or they are busy with their activities. Namasraya kori jatane tumi thakoho apono kaje. Bhakti Thakur, every day morning we are singing that song, right? Udilo Aruno, that song. In that song, he is saying that you must always keep your connection with the spiritual plane that you have received, that connection. And what is that connection? Gurudev given you some seva. That is Harinam seva. Gurudev has given you this mantra that you must chant. And remember, every day we remember, oh, Gurudev has given this service. If if we get off and remember, this, yes, Gurudev has given these all service, how I can do? We cannot, execute all the services that Gurudev has given us, but at least we feel, oh, Gurudev has given this, but I am not able to do. I am praying, please, oh Lord, please help me so that I can, serve his desire, your devotee's desire. I can please your devotee. So this type of mood, if it is manifesting, then we are safe. If we are thinking, I am not doing proper, there is some problem, my things are not going on very nicely, so much, problems is there, then it's okay. But if I think that I am already perfected everything, and, there is some problem is there. Srila Sridhar Maharaj says that who is going closer to the Absolute, he realizes that how far I am from the Absolute. More you approach closer, you think that, oh, that is so great, and I am so lower, I am so much fallen. But those who are far, more going towards, far, they will think that I already attained everything. Some people think that I already got the, love of Godhead. Sometimes Muni Maharaj, also quotes about, that Prem Ratan Dhan Payo. Whose song is this? No. This, Prem Ratan Dhan Payo.
That is Mirabai's song.
Mirabai. Mirabai already saying that already I got love. But what our acharyas are saying is that Mosama Patita Prabhu na paiveyar. I am the most fallen, I have not got it. Bhakti Thakur is saying, Osro Sakalo Pailo Charana Vinoda Thakilo Basi. All the demons, they got your lotus feet, O Lord, but I have not got it. Even great demons, they got it, but I have not got it. So this is the genuine mood and negative. Negative means I am not having any good qualities. Nothing in me that can be offerable to Lord. Nothing in me. But Lord is very merciful. One devotee, I forgot, that he is thinking, name of the Lord is Bhakta Vassal. One of the name of the Lord is Bhakta Vassal. Bhakta Vassal means he is very, very caring and affectionate to his devotees. But he is thinking, I am not devotee. After hearing this name of Lord. Then he came to know another name of Lord is, he is Patit Pavan. That means he can deliver the fallen. Then he got some, hope. Oh, I am the fallen, but he can deliver the fallen. And Narottam Das Thakur is singing that way actually. But he is saying, I am the most fallen, O Lord, nobody is more fallen than me, be merciful to me. So, this type of, realization can come through the mercy of Guru. When we chant, properly without committing offense, then we can, go towards that direction. Humility, tolerance, giving honor to others. These are the, prime qualities which are necessary for spiritual advancement, but very difficult to attain. It is not so easy to attain. Bhakti Thakur, after listening this sloka, is saying, Vaishnavism is so great, and I am thinking, I cannot achieve it, because it's such a great quality, But we should have hope. And what is that hope? That we have seen such personalities in our life. Through our Guru Varga, we have seen such personalities. They are exhibiting such character. Even my Shiksha Gurudev Sripad Bhakti Puri Maharaj, first when he came to see Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, actually after Swami Maharaj's disappearance, he was feeling very sad. And he was thinking, I am not getting so much enthusiasm in spiritual life. Then one sannyasi from ISKCON, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he bring him to see Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. Then he came to Sridhar Maharaj and he's sitting in a chair, that famous chair, Sridhar Maharaj sitting. And what is seen, that whole of his body, so many mosquitoes are sitting. But he is not perturbed, not disturbed at all. He is very peacefully, sitting there and seeing that, kind of, form, divine form. And the love that he has received from Srila Govinda Maharaj. Govinda Maharaj take him, given prasadam. And then Puri Maharaj says, when I have this experience, I felt this is my home. He experienced like that. So, the, divine personalities, seeing their, activities, we all can get, some hope, inspiration. And we've seen in our life such personalities. So, we have some hope by serving, trying to serve. We cannot serve. By their grace only, we can, contribute something if they use us. If we can only think that I want to become devotee, but until and unless somebody accepts us as devotee, we cannot become devotee. Because our will is not supreme. What we want, that is not the all in all. Lord has to sanction. It means higher authority has to sanction. So that's why the practice of humility and the prayer is very, very significant. Worshipful prayers, and any place one can do that prayer. Any location one can do that prayer. It's not necessary that you have to be in a particular place, a temple or a dham, anywhere, in your house or in your work, in traveling, in a train, wherever. You can remember these things that our teachers have explained us, and by their association we learn that. So see, first thing is we are hearing, Shravan. Next thing is that we repeat what we are hearing. That is Kirtan. When we do that, that process helps us smaran, remembrance. If we not do that, if we just hearing and this is going out and we are not speaking those things, then something else will manifest. We cannot remember Lord. So smaran comes when we follow proper Shravan and proper Kirtan. What we are listening, and we can try to repeat that, and those who listen that, they will get some benefit, and we also listening, we also get some benefit. And then by that our remembrance of Lord will increase. And what that will going to help us? That will help in our service. We can have some service relation with the Lord. Without smaran, it is very difficult. So this is the process. Shravan, Kirtan, smaran, then higher service connections, higher and higher will manifest. So in this age of Kali, even though there are many disturbances, many problems, but a very simple and sweet process is being given, and that is through the chanting of the holy name. This connection is always there, wherever we may be, but that connection is always there. There is no specific boundary is needed, no walls are needed. Anywhere we go, this connection we can take with us, and we can cultivate that connection through proper practice, proper what you can say, following of those instructions that we have received. And this is a very joyful process. It's not a forced process. It's a very joyful process. And when we develop more and more what you can say, respect and love for devotees, and the devotional life become very natural. But when we are not developing love and affection and helping and serving attitude to Guru Vaishnavas, then devotional life is quite difficult, to practice our own. It is almost impossible. But when we have some relation, some connection, then we get some energy. Like, doing Gaur Punya Parikrama, if somebody goes alone, it seems to be a very difficult thing. But when we are going with a team, with, chanting, it seems very, simple, easy, But alone, ekaki amaro nahi paye bolo harinamo sankirtan. No, it is not possible. Bosichi sange rase. So Gurudev gives this association of devotees, and that gives some strength. And we must recognize this our association that we are getting. It is the mercy of Gurudev. If Gurudev has given us mercy, that's why we are still getting some association. If Gurudev's mercy is not there, we cannot get association. So this is the mercy of Gurudev, is that he gives us such kind of association that we progress in spiritual path without committing any offences to anyone. Actually, we should not commit, what to talk about devotees, to any living entities. See, Swami Maharaj is saying, when one comes to a spiritual path, even he respects an ant. He cannot, what you can say, harm an ant. Oh, it is very insignificant entity. He cannot harm like that. Even one great biologist, she got a Nobel Prize. Her name is Barbara McClintock. She says, every time I'm walking on the grass, I feel that grass is screaming at me. She has a feeling for even grass. We think, Puri Maharaj says, we think that grass is ordinary, but I think grass is extraordinary. And Mahaprabhu, what he's saying, Trinadapi Sunichano. Means what humility grass has, and from more than that, I must develop. That means what? If you put your leg on the grass, it goes down, right? But if you lift, again it goes up. But if somebody chastises us, some higher devotee, higher Vaishnava, he chastises us, even though we don't have fault, we must say that, yes, I have fault. It is, if even though we think that we don't have fault, we should say, yes, I have fault. And that is his love that he is chastising. and he is giving some mercy by that chastisement. So through this process only we can progress. So I would like to conclude here. I will also want to request Sripad Bhakti Vijnana Muni Maharaj to say something. Vancha kalpataru vasa kipasana vaya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namaha.
I thank Sripad Bhakti Niskama Shanta Maharaj. So it was a very nice presentation, and Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Giridhari Ji ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Shila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj ki Jai. So I was thinking, what shall I speak? And I found a Gita there. So actually, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gave a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. What?
I don't know, I thought you would do the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, this is Bhagavad Gita. So he gave a commentary, and it was a very nice commentary. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has mentioned that the knowledge in Bhagavad Gita is to be understood at 3 levels. And he gave some Bengali, categories. He called secret knowledge, secret, means Guhya. Bengali word is Gujya, which means secret. So there is some secret knowledge in Gita. And then he says, Guhya Tara. There is still higher category of secret knowledge. And then he says, Guhya Tama, the most secret knowledge in Bhagavad Gita. So 3 levels of secrecy in Bhagavad Gita. So what is the first level of secrecy? That is the knowledge of the soul, Atma. First secret. So like we are all souls, isn't it? That scripture says, and we have also understood theoretically, but we don't have any understanding what soul is. If you ask people in the world, who are you? I am some Tom, I am Jerry or something, but they never say that I am soul. So it is a contradiction. So we do not know our own secret. So that is the first level of confidential knowledge. More confidential, and this in Gita has been covered, mainly covered in chapter number 2 to chapter number 6. The knowledge about the soul has been covered in these first few chapters. Then the next more confidential knowledge is knowledge about the Absolute. That is knowledge about God. And that has been covered in chapter number 7th and 8th. But knowing the soul is not enough, knowing even God is not enough. So there is a more confidential knowledge than that. Guhya Tama, most secret of all knowledge. And what is that? That is love of Godhead. Bhakti is the most confidential. Many are reading Gita, but they are not becoming devotees. So, and you can find in Arjuna's question in the 7th chapter, which many times I tell others, if I get an opportunity to speak something, I tell this, I think it is in the 8th chapter, the first 2 verses. Yes. Arjuna Vacha Kim Tad Brahma Kim Adhyatmam Kim Karma Purushottama Adibhutam Cha Kim Proktam Adidaivam Kim Uchyate Adijagyaha Katham Ko Atra Dehe Asmin Madhusudana Prayana Kale Cha Katham Geyo Asiniyatatma Bhihi. So this is 2 very beautiful slokas, and in this 6 questions have been asked, and they are most important questions. Arjuna inquired, O Supreme Person, what is Brahma? Means what is truth, absolute truth. And what is the soul? Means who am I? And then what is action? So we are all active, we are doing some karmas, or mind is also active. Many actions are going on. So what is these actions? And then, what is the worldly plane? So maybe I will just tell you the words, Sanskrit words for each of them. Kim Tad Brahma means what is absolute truth. So Brahma is meaning the absolute truth. And Adhyatmam means the self. Who am I? Who is the soul? And then Kim Karma, what are activities? And Purushottama means here Lord Krishna, who is the best of all personalities. Adibhutam means there are so many living entities around us. Birds, bees, flies, so many. So who are they also? And Adidaivam. And who are the controllers of these entities? Means the demigods. Who are these demigods? Sum total of all the demigods is called Adidaiva. And Adijagga, for whom all activities should be done. Who is the master of all sacrifices? Who is the beneficiary among all sacrifices? So then he asks, what is action and what is the worldly plane? What is the celestial plane, O Madhusudan, within the body? And who is the agent of sacrifice and how is he present? And finally, the most important question, how are you to be known by the self-control at the time of death? How shall I remember you? This is the main, because already Lord told previously, when you die, whatever you think, you will attend to that. Or if you think of some other things, then you will get to those things. But if you think of me, time of death, then you will come to me. So now naturally asking, okay, you told that when our time of death will come, we should remember you, to come to you. But please tell me, in which way shall I remember you? This is the next important question. So, in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord starts explaining devotional service in more details. And about devotional service, he says it is the king of all knowledge, Rajvidya. And there previously he has not been so clear, explicitly explaining the things. But in the 9th chapter he says, if someone offers me little tulsi flower or little flower, little water, little milk, or some vegetables, so little rice, with affection, with love for me, I accept it. So very simple. But then it is also confidential knowledge. So we can understand, many people are questioning how simply by offering some little rice and sabji, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes pleased. And there, Lord is telling about his devotees in that chapter. The way my devotees remember me, they serve me, they think about me. If you can become a servant of that, then I am easily achievable. And then he wants also, but those who only want to think of me in an abstract way, it is very, very difficult to attain me. But if you become my devotee and associate with my devotees, then it becomes very simple. And after explaining devotion, then he comes to 10th chapter, where he explains many more important confidential topics. Like he says, I will give you the intelligence. If somebody thinks how to come near me, then I give the intelligence within the heart so that he can come even more near to me. And our Srila Bhakti's Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj has given detailed explanation in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita about the very inner meaning of the spiritual life. Especially many acharyas have written commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. Ramanuja has written, Srila Madhvacharya has written, and we know Nimbarka Acharya is also given some commentary in that parampara. It is there already. But especially from the Gaudiya Vaishnava conception, how to bring out those like the essence or the inner meaning of what has been preached by Mahaprabhu and his followers, that Sri Sridhar Maharaj has brought in this Bhagavad Gita. So this is very famous. Everyone in our mutt knows about these particular verses. So, in other words, by comparative analysis of different paths towards absolute truth, Bhagavad Gita gives a ladder. Bengali word is sopan, means a ladder. So the lower end of that ladder, that is the plane of karma, where the living entities are suffering the actions and reactions of different activities. And the topmost portion of that ladder of Bhagavad Gita is love of Godhead, Prema Bhakti. So to raise the living entities from the lowest plane to the topmost plane, for that purpose, Bhagavad Gita was given by the Lord, and the Acharyas have made commentaries and given explanations. So, there are many very important topics are there in this Gita. But with regard to today's topic, that he was telling, our Maharaj was telling, worship without wall. So, this is very significant, and often we sing some songs in our temple that Mahaprabhu did such a thing that Chandale Brahmane Kore Kulakuli. The most lowest dog eaters, who nobody will mix with them, and the Brahmins come together. They are embracing each other and they are singing the holy name. This is what Mahaprabhu did. And we have many examples of that, not only with human beings, but with animal species, with bird species. Also, the same thing was happening. When Mahaprabhu went to the forest of Jharikhanda, and in one place near some river or some water body, Mahaprabhu took some little bit of water and threw that water on the elephants, on the tigers, on the deers and other living entities, and he's telling, Krishna bolo, Krishna bolo, Krishna bolo, and they are chanting Hare Krishna. So in other words, the ordinary nature that we experience in the world, that ordinary nature, the Prakriti, according to that every living entity is acting. We are bound by the strict laws of Prakriti. But Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Lord, is situated in the heart of all living entities as the Paramatma, as Supreme Soul. So he can give that mercy, the type of knowledge to living entities, that they can forget their conditioning of material existence and they can develop such love and affection towards the devotional process. So Mahaprabhu has practically demonstrated this, not only theoretically but practically. And we know that in previous ages the devotional service was kind of difficult to understand what it meant. But when there were many scholars in Bengal, in India, and many truths were there in the scriptures, but they could not understand it because it is the activity of Mahamaya. When the Lord doesn't want, or when the Lord wants that living entities should get this mercy, then automatically that cover is removed. And all the living entities, fortunate living entities, begin to see what is in the scripture. It is the mercy of the Lord. So gradually, we know in India, people didn't want to cross the 7 oceans in ancient days. We know that very well. There is a very famous mathematician from India who came to England. His name is Ramanujan, Srinivas Ramanujan. And so, there was some question that he got offers to come to Trinity, and there was some question whether he should go or not to England, because he had to cross 7 oceans, and people of England, they are not from India, they have some other type of practices, and whether it will be good to mix with people so much. And he was also from traditional family, the Ramanuja family, that is Ramanuja tradition. He had that kind of background. But somehow he got some inspiration and he came to England. So similarly, we can find that Mahaprabhu in this age told that Prithivite ache jato nagaradi gram sarvattu sanchar hoibe mor naam. Irrespective of country, caste, religion, color, race, whatever which distinguishes one living being from another in this world, I will distribute this love of Godhead all over the world. And what to say, he even said one thing. So what is the essence of spiritual life? The essence of spiritual life is not that we have already found the absolute truth. No, that is not the meaning of that, that we have already found Krishna, that we have already found a Gita, we have already a book, we have already our temples, we have already our deities. This is not the real meaning of devotional life. Real meaning is search for Sri Krishna, reality of the beautiful. That is what Sridhar Maharaj's conception. And Mahaprabhu told the same thing. He told in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, I roamed all over the world, but I did not find a single person who is searching for me. So, this essence of spiritual religious life is search for Sri Krishna, search for the absolute truth. Not that we have already become a finished product. And then Mahaprabhu promised after that when he said this, all over the world, my name will go and this love will be distributed. And he said that for which even the great rishis, great munis, tapasvis are meditating, demigods are meditating, long period and not getting, I will freely distribute to even the lowest class of these people of the world living entities. And then he said, there are so many Muslims in this world who never accept the form of the Lord, the deity of the Lord. Even they will cry in my name in this age. So that was the promise Mahaprabhu made long ago. And we know our acharyas are telling many times, we can find it in scriptures. So the Lord appeared in Bengal does not mean that He is limited to Bengal. No, His mercy is for everyone, for all the people of the world. And one should not see the Lord as Bengali, English, or in India, of course, we have many conceptions. Like in his land, in Telugu land, his language is Telugu. So there they worship Lord as Tirupati Balaji. So, and in South India we have Ranganath. So they all chant in Tamil language. Many verses they will chant in one after another. But actually, this type of barrier the Lord has broken, which is barrier to language, barrier to caste, barrier to creed, barrier of having a lot of knowledge, or any other barrier, which kingly barrier, whatever. So naturally, what that means for a devotee to be able to understand this type of devotion that is discussed by Mahaprabhu and which he wanted to distribute. So Mahaprabhu is giving it freely to who are humble. Who are very humble, they are getting it. So like for example, there are many people proud that I am very beautiful, I am very intelligent, I have a high position. Then Mahaprabhu is not attracted by that. But who is taking humble position, serving devotees, tolerating everything, not complaining anything, then Mahaprabhu recognizes those devotees. So he is setting many examples like that. And in another way also we can see this. There are devotees who are very good in certain type of services. Other devotees may not be so good in those services, but that is not also a limitation, because everybody can be engaged, even scientists, philosophers, who can just cook, who can just make garland, who can just clean the temple. Only thing is that attitude should be humble, and we all come under the flag of Guru and Gauranga, and everything is harmonized and forgotten our, what is stopping us from making progress. So with this conception of becoming humble and becoming prideless, there is another important point, that is the service conception. That generally it is said, we will chant so many rounds, people think like this, or they are doing something very nicely. But the thing is, one must also become very good in service. This is also an important question. So when one advances, he will see that the service becomes so much important. So for example, when you can see, now we are getting instructions, you have to go and preach and travel also to other countries, mix with other people, talk to scientists, tell them something. And we are feeling in our, this effort, what is necessary is that to approach this kind of communities who are, who would not come to temples in general, like, everybody will not come to temple. So to approach such people also, we have to innovate in a way which is according to the instructions of the Guru Parampara. So we remember Prabhupada many times told this thing to his scientist devotees, that we are organizing this type of preaching for those people who can't come to our temples, who cannot join like full-time devotees, or who cannot become fully engaged in general temple activities. So we are not neglecting them also. So we will invite them for different activities, and in that particular way we are also serving. So therefore the necessity of service is one of the most important questions when one makes more progress. So therefore this World Wide Web or worship without wall is actually indicating a progress, not a static conception but a progressive conception. Srila Sridhar Maharaj has told one thing. So what is the meaning of Bhakti? Bhakti means one is progressing. One is not static at one point. He is making more progress. That is the meaning of Bhakti. And he also used to say elimination of the lower and acceptance of the higher. So whatever is favorable for the devotional service, if someone thinks that it is material, then that is understood to be prakrita. That means it is that type of devotees, that type of person's mentality is like prakrita, means material. But if somebody is utilizing everything for the service of the Lord, of Guru and Gauranga, then one should understand there is nothing material about that. So we know in Bhagavatam it has been mentioned, even science, chemistry, physics, and what to say, rockets. Even rockets can be used in service of Krishna. What to say of, some other things. So it is some kind of, inconceivable what the nature of service will be for devotees. So, I don't have time. I think I will conclude now. Time is over. So, how to know what is devotion and what is not devotion, and how to get oneself that devotion, how to know God, how to know the truth. This is the main question. So, it is said, one cannot immediately understand these things, these conceptions. Simply I can know by my sense capacity, it is not possible. But by the Spirit's own development, the knowledge becomes revealed in the heart of a devotee. And not only that, along with that knowledge of devotion, the process of attainment of that also is achieved simultaneously. So we need the help of the Absolute Truth. We need the help of the Gurudev. We need the help of the Lord. We need the help of Vaishnavas. And when we develop this type of conception, that I am not to speak against Gurudev, against devotees, against Vaishnavas, but rather to sing in a way which is glorifying them, which is praising them. When one develops this type of qualities, then automatically this one becomes successful in devotional life. Thank you.
Shall we do Hariharaya?
Yes.
You have Aarti, no?
Shall we? After Aarti?
Aarti hoga.
How Aarti will start?
After
Aarti.
we do Hariharaya and then
Now we do Hariharaya?
yes.
Hariharaya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama.
Hariharaya Nama
Sing, Maharaj.
Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Hariharaya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Hariharaya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan.
Shri Gopinath Madana Mohan.
Shri
Vichara